Hey everybody, I'm Jared,
I'm Dan.
and you're watching Grab It Gear, and we've got a lot of questions about what is actually better to purchase, a Prius Prime or a normal Prius. This right here will explain everything. So, we're going to have a couple different segments of this. We're also going to go out to our yard. You'll see that video here in a minute, where we explain some of the differences between the Prius and the Prius Prime. So let's jump right into it.
All right, starting with the 2022 Toyota Prius base hybrid model. Our base model starts at $27,450 MSRP. We have approximately 23.8 cubic feet of cargo space in it, and based upon 12,000 miles driven per year is how this comparison is going to work. With 4 oil changes at $80 each for a total of $320 in oil changes per year. The EPA estimated range is 57 miles in the city, 56 miles on the highway, with an 11.4 gallon fuel tank. With our estimated 12,000 miles driven per year, that's approximately 210 gallons at 57 miles per gallon. You have zero electric cost as it's a normal hybrid and not a plug-in. We're counting our insurance average for 12 months at $1,237.
So over here, guys, we have a 2022 Prius Prime. Big thing that Dan pointed out, which I had it out of order over there, is the cargo capacity. So 23.8, but the Prime has 19.8 feet of cargo capacity, cubic feet of cargo capacity. This is a base model 2022 Prius Prime for $28,770. Now, the Prime does come with a $3,700 tax credit if it is new. We are going to run scenarios with the tax credit and without the tax credit. This is also based on 12,000 miles per year. We're only going to do 2 oil changes at $80 a piece because of the electric motors. EPA has it rated at 54 miles per gallon and 133 mpge with the electric. This one also has an 11.4 gallon tank. We averaged 70 mpg over the 12,000 miles. That's what we're calculating it. 171 gallons of fuel for that 12,000 miles using the electric motor also. Electric cost is going to vary state by state. Here in Colorado, our kilowatt hour usage for during peak usage is about 10 cents per kilowatt hour, 3 cents per kilowatt hour in off-peak. The Prius has a roughly, a solid answer on this, even from Toyota, 8.8 kilowatt hour battery with a 5 to 5.5 kilowatt hours usable battery. Insurance, roughly, for a Prius Prime, according to Google, is $1,291 a year, which is roughly $54 more than a normal Prius. I'm pretty sure that's just because it's electric and it could blow up. I don't know. Just so you guys are aware, some states don't have peak and off-peak hours for kilowatt hour usage. Check with your local, electrical provider to see what your actual peak, off-peak, or just flat base rate is. I've heard of some states like California being upwards of a constant 18 all the way up to 20-something, and then you get down into Texas where it's even higher at times during the summer and lower during the winter. So something to keep in mind. Take a look at it.
Same warranty, both Priuses.
That's right. Guys, both Priuses come with the same fantastic warranty, including on the batteries and the electric motors that both of the Priuses have, so we're not going to say anything different about that. Real quick, I did want to point out there is a small price difference, $27,450, $28,770. There you go, you know it. We're going to go over scenario 1. Dan, tell us about the Prius for scenario 1.
So the Prius hybrid base model here for scenario 1 is our total gas expenditure for the year is going to be $735.
Real quick, what is it at? We did $3.50, correct?
Yeah, $3.50 a gallon, and that's going off our previous 210 gallons that we had in our 12,000 miles per year for the base model. So $735 in gas. With our 4 oil changes, that's another $320 for the year. So our total cost of the car is $27,450, and we're going to say you're doing a 60-month finance at
0%.
0%. So that's just going to be straight costs only. So your base model there for the month is $457.50. And then with your maintenance per month, it's going to be $545.42 per month. And that's all your maintenance costs added into your finance costs just for the year at 0%.
Exactly.
So your total yearly cost for A, which is just the price of the car, is $5,490. Situation B is your total maintenance cost plus the cost of the car for the year at 0% is $6,545.04.
Yeah. Now, let's look at the Prius Prime. Prius Prime with the tax incentive included. Gas for the year based on
Still 12,000 miles.
12,000 miles was $599 a year. 2 oil changes for $160. Electric costs here in Colorado, again, they vary. We went with peak and off-peak. We pretty much ignored off-peak because we wanted to see what the worst case is. $182 a year, and that's charging it every single day. Cost with the rebate, $25,070 at 60 months, 0%. Now the monthly for just the car, $417.83. With maintenance, which includes oil changes, electric costs, everything, $496.29. Now, just the car for the year is $5,013.96. The car with maintenance for the year, $5,955.48. Reason we split it up like this is so that we could actually see the difference. The normal Prius, just for the car, $5,490. The normal Prius Prime, $5,013. With maintenance, $6,545. Prius Prime, $5,955. So, scenario 1, with the tax incentive, Prius Prime wins. There we go.
All right, so Prius Prime hybrid base model, scenario 2, see scenario 1.
So obviously, guys, I'm gonna put a little arrow here for who won. Prius Prime won the first one.
So the Prius hybrid base model here, all 3 of our scenarios are going to be the same because your mileage is still going to be the same, your fuel cost is still the same, your maintenance, because it's all just 12,000 miles a year. You have no tax incentive that's going to change across, is what the next one is for the Prius Prime. So everything is going to be the same. You're still going to be a total cost with all expenses per year at $6,545.04 on the base model hybrid.
Yep. So let's take a look at the Prime without the tax incentive with minimum plugging it in. Here we go. Same price, okay, right here to here. $28,770 without tax incentive. Same numbers as above as far as oil, electric, gas, everything. Brings your monthly base price for the car without maintenance to $479.
You wrote it down.
I was looking at the wrong numbers. $479.50. Look at this. $417 with the tax incentive. $479 without the tax incentive. Obviously, that's a massive jump.
Oh yeah.
Huge. That's 15%. You know what I mean? Then we look at the monthly cost with maintenance. $557.91 compared to $496. Huge difference right there because we're not plugging it in as much. Actually, we are. We're plugging in the same.
These are the same for plug-ins. It's just your tax incentive.
Just
the
tax
only difference.
incentive. Just tax incentive. So that brings your total cost for the year with just the car, $57.54. With the maintenance, everything, $6,694.
So,
Where are you at?
So with the base model hybrid again, we're at our total for the year at $65.45. And now with the Prius Prime without a tax incentive, you're at $66.94. So the hybrid is just a little bit cheaper per year now.
Yep. And that comes down to right here.
That's just the pure tax incentive right there.
Exactly. So always also check with your local, with your state and everything to see if you can get a tax incentive from your city, your county, your state,
Absolutely.
plus the feds. Makes a big difference in just basic numbers right here. So there we go. The Prius in scenario 2 won.
Oh my goodness, how unprofessional. Scenario 3.
Yep, scenario 3, guys. This one is going to be maximum amount of EV range per day. I'm going to just break it down. Nothing changed on Dan's side. Scenario 3 is the same as scenario 1 and 2. We're only going to use 53 gallons of gas for the entire year at $3.50 for $186, giving us 2,875 miles. Now that may seem like not that many miles, but that's because we're going to be using 1,825 kilowatt hours to drive 9,125 miles, which is roughly 25 miles per day.
You're using your maximum daily EV capability.
Exactly. So you may ask, where does this come into consideration? On that board over there, we wrote it down. Commuting. As for me, I have a Prime. I can drive from my house to my shop and back to my house without ever turning on the gas engine. And I can go 3, 4, 5, well, technically I can go as far as I want, thousands of miles without the gas engine turning on. This is that type of scenario. Every blue moon, your engine turns on throughout the year to, I don't know, get the oil flowing, burn up some gas because it needs to. This is that situation. So let's break it down. Out of the 1,825 kilowatt hours, that is going to cost at 10 cents per kilowatt hour. Again, check your local area. $182.50 to drive 9,125 miles, which, I'll be honest, that's amazing. So that brings your monthly, with maintenance, I sort of got lazy by this point, guys, to $523 plus or minus a couple cents monthly, and $6,282 for the year. Dan, what was your monthly?
My monthly was, for a total of everything, was $545.42.
Compared to $523. So in this scenario where you max out the EV range, and I do have to ask because I'm not sure, did we include, yes, this was with the tax incentive.
Yes.
Yes, okay, with tax incentive. The Prius Prime, again, comes in cheaper per year than the Prius. $6,282, $6,545. So, once again, the Prius Prime wins.
Quick side note addendum, guys.
So I made a mistake. Here's what it was. I didn't specify if this was without tax credit or with tax credit. This right here, the $523 monthly, $6,282 is without the tax credit.
With Max EV.
With Max EV. Right here, which I will put on the screen here in just a second for you guys, with the tax credit of $3,700, it actually brings your monthly cost to the car down to $417.83.
So that's just your base price for the car only. So with fuel and electric, and it's
$4,400.
$448, not 4,000.
Yeah.
Per month, it's
Yeah.
$448.53.
Which yearly is $5,382 and some change. Now let's compare. 5,382, 6,545.
I think you forgot oil changes, but that's $160 more.
Yeah. I mean, you guys already lost faith in the video at this point. But there you guys go. We did catch our mistake. We're trying to show it real quick. I'll put it up on the screen again. This is with the tax credit, without the tax credit. The next one is also without the tax credit. But I think we did that because the obvious winner was the Prime again.
It was just
Yeah, because we just stopped actually doing it because we were like, oh, wow. So let's move on to that one now.
All right, scenario 4. The final.
Scenario 4, the final countdown.
How dare you.
I know.
Stupid editing.
This one, guys, is 50-50 split. 6,000 miles in gas, 6,000 miles in electric. Take it away, Dan.
So you're driving a little bit here and a little bit there with gas and electric. Anyways, so at 54 miles per gallon is your EPA rating there with your gasoline motor. At 350 a gallon, you're at 388.50 cents a year. So almost $400 in gas a year. And then with our electric cost, still at 10 cents a kilowatt hour.
I'm going to point this out. Why is this different? We changed it because we were doing 70, and we changed it to actually give the car a worse chance of winning.
Absolutely, because like the 70 is based on our actual real-world testing, as I'm sure you've seen by watching our other videos.
Yep.
Hint, hint. But we actually went with an actual EPA rating on this one at 54, which that'd have to be pure fuel, and we've never done that in the Prime. But that's why we wanted to give it the best shot of like setting the cards against it on this one.
Exactly. This actually made it to where the Prius was almost looked better because 57, wasn't it? Yeah, 57.
But so the Prime is off our example, which we've already done way better than that all the time, is 54 miles a gallon. So you're at $388.50 a year, so almost $400 in fuel. And then at 10 cents a kilowatt hour still for 6,000 miles, which you can really only do like 25 miles a day doing that, but it's still $120 a year in electricity you're going to be burning. With your total cost there of $535 per month, and that's for your fuel and electric, nothing else. And across the car, you're sitting at $6,422.50 per year.
Yep, there you guys go.
Sorry, $535, yeah.
Which means also this part down here is inaccurate. Ignore that.
But
That
without the tax incentive, you're at $6,400 and a little bit more per year with a 50-50 split driving.
So now let's take a look. 6,422, $6,545. So even if you split it 50-50,
With
6,000.
awful fuel mileage.
Yep, with even worse fuel economy than we achieved.
The Prime is still a little cheaper
Yeah,
for you.
the Prime is still cheaper. So we're going to step back. We're going to put the whole board up on for you guys real quick, and we're going to discuss which one is the winner.
So before we kick over and show you who the winner is, even though I think it's pretty obvious math-wise, we wanted to actually take you out and show you two cars side by side exactly where we believe the actual difference is that would be the deciding factor for you if the price difference is negligible. Because there is like one good physical difference in the cars, and we'll show you.
I will say there's more than one physical difference. They're two different cars completely. They just have the same badge.
One physical difference that I think is actually
Relevant.
right.
Yeah, there we go. And that is, so here we are, guys, out at our yard, going to be comparing in this first episode the Prius Prime to the normal Prius. So let's dive right in. We're going to figure out which one is actually better for your money. And trust me when I say there is a ton of differences, but not really. So right here with the Prius Prime, you can tell there are quite a few differences. First one I'm going to start with are the lights. Totally different. They're projected lights instead of the normal lights that you see on the Prius. We also got the fog lights, whole different front valence, and the front grille completely different. You look at the hood, you'll notice the hood is totally different shape compared to the 22 Prius. Does that matter? We're going to find out. With the 22 Prius, let's start right like I said, headlights. You can see normal headlights. I'm not sure if these are the LED projection ones or not, but they're not like the Prime. Got no fog lights here, which obviously has to do with the trim level. I understand that. Whole different front valence, and the grille area totally different. The badge placement different, all of that. The hood, that's a big one for me. You can really tell the hood slope is totally different with these distinct lines coming down it, where the Prime didn't have that at all. Same with right here, the Prime does have this sort of flat spot, but the hood on this one seems more sloped with these lines. So here at the back of the Prius Prime, like I said, this one's mine, so my plates are on there, just ignore that. But you can clearly see the differences with the back. Yes, you can clearly see the differences. Start with the actual light coming straight down. That's going to be your backup light and gives you a ton of actual light at night, and it looks totally different. We'll show you that. Also, you have this wraparound light bar right here. It does great, looks different, and honestly, it just really distinguishes the Prius to the Prius Prime. Another major difference is the back windshield. And I'm not sure if the camera will show this all the way, so I'll try to get it, but it actually moves. It's like, or not moves, it's like a wave, I guess, right here. It goes down and comes back up, and you have no rear wiper, which is a little odd, but you don't have one. You do have the lower glass section, which, come to find out, the brand new 23s coming out won't have, but that's here nor there. Besides for that, everything looks pretty good on the rear. The bumper, everything's about the same, except for those things I pointed out. All right, so let's talk about the differences between these two when it comes to from a 22 Prius to the Prius Prime. First off, lights. Huge difference. You can see it right off the bat. Here is a picture, ready? There you go, of the Prime lights. You can really tell the difference, which is right here. There would normally be on the Prime another light bar going across. Instead, you have an actual spoiler, which, whatever, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that, but that's fine. Backup lights are up here instead of down here on the side, so that's a totally different thing also. It does come with the glass going across it, just like the Prime does, but the biggest difference, I will say, beyond the lights and the spoiler, is the back windshield. The windshield is a normal windshield and does have a wiper blade with a cleaner. So there's the differences between them. Honestly, I will say my personal preference, the Prime does look better if you're looking at it from behind. And trust me, when you drive a Prime, you're going past everybody. So back here at the back of the Prius, there is one big difference. I'm going to show you a picture right now. There you go. Hopefully you saw the difference. That is right here. You actually lose about 4 cubic feet of storage in the back of the Prime compared to the normal Prius. That is because the battery pack is back here. So you'll notice this is a pretty big increase in the height of the floor. So right under this is where the battery pack is, and it goes up towards the back seat. But we do have this little bitty storage space right here. Not much in there, but what you do get is your emergency towing, stuff like that. It is not really deep, you know. There you go. That's how deep it is, like 10 inches. Or I say 10 inches. But that's it. You get this little piece. So not much back here. You do get the sunshade. That way people can't see what's back there and rob you. So there you go. You do have some lights on the side, some little hooks. Nothing really crazy back here in the back. Over here in the normal 2022 Prius, you'll notice the big difference I showed you in the picture. You have about 1 inch down of more room, plus that 4 inches or so coming up is not over here. So you have about 4 cubic feet more of space in the 22 than you did in a Prime. But obviously that, it's circumstantial if you need the Prime for the battery or if not. One of the good parts though, you do have, it lifts up, you have all this styrofoam, a spare tire. So that right there is a big plus for me. I actually really like that fact of having a spare tire. You also get a different type of sunshade, which comes straight back. There we go. Hooks on. To me, it looks a little bit better. Doesn't go up and down with the lift gate, but that's just newer. Okay, so here we are, guys. That was our walkthrough, sort of the differences between them. Now, obviously, everything we said is subjective and different circumstances. You know what I mean? It's sort of, I don't know what I'm trying to say here, guys, but it is subjective. You guys could totally agree that this car is better or that car is better, or disagree for different reasons. But there is all of our reasons for it. I hope the video is very insightful for you guys and showed all the things that are different and what makes each one unique. And so there you guys go. You saw us out in our yard talking about the cars, showing you a few of the differences, and that's the only major differences. You got a little bit of body, and you got the cargo space. Where is it? Somewhere up here, right here. 19.8 cubic feet of storage capacity with the seats up.
Versus my 23.8. And that's besides, like, sure, the headlight, stuff like that, it's the cargo capacity is the only interior difference that's maybe noticeable. If they have the same body panel, you'd never know, except for the way that battery pack sits that you see.
Exactly. So if you have to have that extra 4 cubic feet,
which,
cargo,
I mean, it does make a difference,
no,
absolutely.
It does, 100%. I will say, I took the Prius on a road trip, and we had our suitcases, everything in there, and there was room. But that was for 3 people. If you took 4, I don't know if it would have worked.
But if you're just commuting, though, it's very difficult to make a case for the base model Prius over the Prius Prime if you get a tax incentive if you're buying new.
Yep.
Well, after going over everything, our opinion is that the Prius Prime is the clear winner in almost every situation.
Yeah, there was a big surprise, actually, that the Prime came out on top in every situation but one. And that was the full price without a tax incentive, without being able to plug it in pretty much ever. That is the only situation out of everything where the Prime lost in terms of numbers. So there you guys go. That's our 2 cents. What do you think? Should you guys buy a plug-in hybrid vehicle, particularly the Prime Prius, or a normal hybrid? So right off the bat, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not the smartest person in the world. Everything on this board was found on mostly Google or Toyota's website or in the owner's manual, stuff like that. If you guys disagree with what we have here, feel free to let us know and start your own YouTube channel, get thousands of subscribers, and then I'll go watch your video, and that way you can prove me wrong.
But I'm sure there are some actual, like, mathematical errors in here, and please point them out, because I know we did some quick, fast, and a hurry stuff, especially as we caught our mistakes as we're going.
Yeah.
But everything else was, I think, pretty solid when it comes to that.
Yep.
And across, like, maybe a hamburger here or there kind of difference, price cost, what are you going to do?
Exactly. The other one I have to point out, because it just came to me real quick, is insurance cost. It's different for everybody. We did not actually include it in any of our numbers here. We did point it out right here and over there, but it was not included in any of our mathematics.
And that's why we didn't do financing, because that's all going to be on you. Your insurance and your credit rating or whatever it's going to be is all individualized.
Exactly. So, all right, guys, there you go.